What's up guys, to another episode of Tuned Engines, and on today's episode I'm gonna show you how you can change your spark plugs, spark plug wires, coils, and coil unplug for your cars. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, let me go ahead and tell you why it's always a great idea to go ahead and change your spark plugs and spark plug wires. If you don't change out your spark plugs regularly, or like you don't maintain your car, it's gonna start wasting a bunch of gas, and that's because your spark plug is gonna get clogged up with carbon buildup, carbon deposit from the fuel. So it's gonna clog it up, and it's gonna take more spark for it to ignite your fuel and making it waste more gas in general. And also it's that it can give you the famous engine code known as a P0300, which is an engine misfire. You have a bad spark plugs, or you have a bad spark plug wires. Sometimes it can be your coils or your distributor. Most of the time it's going to be your spark plug wires or your spark plugs. And also guys, if you don't change out your spark plugs, this can happen. So like it might break or it might detonate inside your engine's piston, and like it can cause a bunch of engine damage and possibly a new engine. So yeah, this is a good reason why you want to go ahead and change your spark plugs, because if you take too long to replace them, when you do have to replace them because your car's misfiring or wasting too much fuel, they can break in half or leave little chunks inside the engine. Alright guys, so this was sent to me by one of my friends 2 months ago. My friend Guillermo. Hopefully you'll see him in the video soon. And it's because his car, basically whenever he was driving it, his spark plug flew out because he didn't replace them in time. So yeah, this is how it sounded like. And luckily he was next to an AutoZone, so he was able to fix it right there and then. So it's always good to go ahead and know when your car needs new spark plugs and go ahead and maintain your car. Alright guys, with that being said, let me go ahead and show you how you can change your own spark plugs in your car. Let's get into the video. Okay guys, so let me go ahead and show you what a spark plug and a spark plug wire actually do. So like I'm gonna take it out. I don't recommend you doing this because it will shock you. But as you can see, it just shoots like a little lightning bolt or a little spark, so it's gonna ignite your fuel. So it's always good to go ahead and make sure your car's running good, because if not, then you won't be able to drive. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be working on my 71C10, but it's because like on this one I have to go ahead and change the spark plug wires and the spark plugs. But I'm also gonna show you how you can do it in every type of car. So basically I'm gonna go ahead and show you on my Camaro and also my Suburban, because they have one of them has coils and the other one has coil unplugged. Alright guys, well the first thing is you have to go ahead and go get your spark plugs. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our local car parts store so we can go get all the supplies we need. So let's go ahead and go. Okay guys, so whenever you go to AutoZone or anything, always ask one of the people working there to help you find the spark plugs, because always where they get the right ones. Alright guys, so now that we're back from the parts store, this is all the stuff that you're gonna need. So the first thing you're gonna need is spark plug wires if you're gonna go ahead and replace your old spark plug wires. The second thing you're gonna go ahead and need is a ratchet with an extension and a universal joint, so you can go ahead and get into tight areas. And also guys, there's 2 different size sockets for spark plugs, so you have to know which one your car needs. And today we might just need this extension with this universal joint and this ratchet. I'm also going to include this socket remover, but I don't like using it because you can't get as much leverage as a ratchet. Another tool that's always nice to have but you don't really need is this spark plug wire remover, and it's really good because it grabs the wire without ripping it or breaking the little metal inside. I'm also going to include this magnet because sometimes it might be hard to take out your spark plugs, and also you're going to need your spark plugs. Don't forget that. And also a spark plug gapping. There's 3 different types, but this is the simplest one and easiest one to use, and also the least expensive. So this is all the stuff you're gonna need. And also guys, don't go ahead and forget your owner's manual, because your owner's manual is gonna have all the information you need, and also the gapping size for your car. And alright guys, so let's go ahead and start. But before we do that, let me go ahead and tell you about the 3 different types of spark plugs there are. Okay guys, so there's only really 3 types of spark plugs. The first one we're looking at is iridium. Iridium will typically last you between 60 to 80,000 miles, but iridium's lower than platinum. Platinum spark plugs will last you up to 100,000 miles, but it's always good to go ahead and look at your owner's manual to see when you need new spark plugs for your car. And the last guys is copper. Copper will usually last you between 10 to 20,000 miles. Another thing guys is that it's always good to upgrade your spark plug. So if you have a copper, you can always upgrade to iridium, and if you have iridium, you can always upgrade to platinum. But guys, you never want to go ahead and go down. So if you have iridium, never go down to copper. And if you have a platinum, never go down to iridium. So it's always good to upgrade your car whenever lower your spark plugs. And also guys, there's also some spark plugs that are called double iridium, but that just means that like they last longer, and also double platinum, but it will just give you longer life for your spark plug. So alright, so first thing you want to do is go ahead and open your hood and switch your Colaz engine, and then locate your spark plugs and your spark plug wires. Also guys, whenever you're gonna change your spark plugs, always let your engine cool down, because if you do it while it's hot, you might mess up the threads on the engine block. So always let it cool down for a little bit. Alright guys, so now we're going to take off the spark plug, but you never want to go ahead and pull it from the wire, because then this can happen. The inside of the spark plug wire can get stuck with the spark plug, and you will have to get new spark plug wires for your car. So if you're ever going to do it like this, it's always good to use a tool, which I'm going to use right now. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the spark plug wire again, but this time I'm going to use these special pliers. You really don't need them, but it's always good to get them, because if you buy them once, you can use them forever. So all you have to do is go around the boot of the spark plug wire, then grip it, then start pulling it out. And you can see that once we pull it out, the little terminal inside is still going to be connected to the spark plug. And if you're going to take it off by hand, just wiggle it a little bit, grab it by the boot, start wiggling it, and then just pull it out, and you'll see it's going to come out easily. And now guys, that you've removed your spark plug wire, you can go ahead and see your spark plug right there. So now it's time to take it off. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and get our ratchet and also get our extension to make it easier to reach the spark plug. And we're going to go ahead and connect them. And now we get our sockets and see which one fits the spark plug. The easiest way to do this is go ahead and get one of your new spark plugs. And you can go ahead and put it inside the socket to see which one it fits. So right now I'm going to go ahead and get one of our new spark plugs. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the socket. And as you can see, it fits. So this is the socket we're going to need. Now we can go ahead and connect our socket to the extension of our ratchet. And then go to the engine block and start removing the socket. So guys, you want to go make sure that your ratchet's turning lefty-loosey. And now guys, you want to go ahead and start unscrewing the spark plug from the engine block. And you might have to give it a little bit of taps if it's a little bit seized. And now guys, you can go ahead and take out your spark plug and replace it with the new one. But before that, you should probably find out what type of spark plug gap you need for your car. Okay guys, so before I replace my spark plug, I'm actually going to go open up my owner's manual for my truck and look all the way to the end, because at the end it shows me like the common spark plug conditions. And as you can see, it tells you about every little thing that can either cause a weird effect on your spark plug, or you can also tells you like if you have a certain problem with your car. And also guys, so if a spark plug has a problem, like all of them are the same. So if you ever need to like compare your spark plugs, you can always pause this video and compare your spark plugs. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and compare my spark plug. And as you can see, my spark plug looks pretty much like normal if you look at the picture on the book. And also guys, right here I have a spark plug that actually detonated and also broke in half. So always good to go ahead and replace your spark plugs to avoid stuff like this from happening to your car. So always make sure you maintain your car. So now that we've been able to compare our spark plugs, we can actually go ahead and open up our owner's manual now. And I have the page saved, and also go ahead and look at the spark plug gap. So as you can see, we look right here, we need a 0.035 inch of a gap on our spark plug. So you can go ahead and get our tool to be able to do that. Okay guys, and we have our spark plug gapping tool, and you can see right there, we need 0.035, and it's right there, that line right there I'm pointing. Alright guys, so most of the time these spark plugs come pre-gapped from factory. So it's always a good idea to go ahead and check the gap before you install it to make sure it's the right gap for your car. So as you can see, this one's actually going to be like almost 0.04. And when I want it to be like that, I want it to be exactly at 0.035. So I'm actually going to go ahead and close the gap a little bit. And this is how I do it. So I really need to close it is a hard surface. This case I'm going to use the gapping tool. I'm just going to press my spark plug against it. I'm not going to use too much force so I don't close it too much. Then I'm going to go ahead and check it again. And as you can see, we're pretty much perfect. And I'm also going to show you how you can open up the spark plug gap in case it's too small. Alright guys, so as you can see, the spark plug gapping tool has like has a hole that looks like a circle, and as you can see, it has like a little lip in the circle. You just put the top part, then all you have to do is pull out a little bit, and you will open the gap. It's always good to do it in small increments so you don't over gap it, because then if you do, there's a certain point where you can't close it anymore because it won't work. So always make sure you do it by small increments, and always keep on checking to make sure you don't go over your spark plug gap. Okay guys, now that you have your spark plug ready, the next thing is go ahead and put the spark plug back, put the new one in, and all you want to do is start tightening it by hand if you can do it. And if not, go ahead and take off the extension off your ratchet and start turning it back up like that. Because if you do it with the ratchet, you might end up cross-threading. So it's good to make sure. And all you have to do now is just make sure until it's snug, and that's it. You want to over torque it because it doesn't need that much foot-pounds of torque to hold it in place. Okay guys, now we're gonna replace our spark plug wire. So all you have to do is take it off from the distributor or your coil or anything. Then go ahead and compare it to your new spark plug wires to see if you can get the same length, so you can put it in the right location. As you can see, we got the same length on both of these, so we're gonna go ahead and get the new one and replace it. Okay guys, so before I start putting my spark plug wire back, I'm actually gonna go ahead and remove the little number that tells me which plug wire this is for. It's way more easier to find out which one this is for, so I like putting it in my new one. And I'm also gonna go ahead and get some silicone compound and put it on the boots of the spark plug wire so they don't get stuck whenever I try taking them out. And I'm also gonna go ahead and put some on the terminals for the distributor. You can go ahead and do this to your car too, so whenever you guys change out your spark plugs again, it's more easier to take out your spark plug wires. Okay guys, so now that we have the spark plug wire ready, we can go ahead and connect it to the terminal on our distributor. You want to make sure it clicks into place to make sure it's snug, and then we can go ahead and connect it to the spark plug. And you're also going to hear a little click, and that's when you know it's ready. You can also give it a tug, a small one, just to make sure it's in place so it doesn't go anywhere, and it's ready to go. Okay guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and remove all the spark plug wire so I can go ahead and replace all the spark plugs. I always like to do them all at once, but if you're new to this and it's your first time, you can always do it just one at a time so you don't get the wires confused. And also guys, if you have a coil unplugged, you really don't have to worry about this because it's just like one coil for each cylinder, so it's pretty easy. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and use this socket removal tool so you can see that you can do it with basically any socket tool. The only thing is that you can't get as much leverage with this one, but it works alright. As you can see, I went ahead and took off the spark plug wire in cylinder number 2, and it worked just fine. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and try to remove the next spark plug with the same tool. But as you can see, it's a little bit hard. Let's try again. We can get more leverage with 2 hands. And no, it's not going to happen. So this is the reason why I like using these, because you don't get that much leverage. But in case it's too hard guys, if you have a breaker bar, it's always good to use a breaker bar to make it easier on yourself to getting stuck spark plugs on. All we have to do is put an extension and an adapter, then put our socket for the spark plugs, and then go ahead and start breaking them loose. Alright guys, now that we have spark plugs loose, we can go ahead and get our ratchet and just start taking them off by hand. And as you can see, we got the first one off, and let's go ahead and take off all of your little ones. We tried. Alright guys, so I got all the spark plugs off. As you can see, I got the old ones to the left and the new spark plugs to the right. As you can see, they look just fine. Like they've been they don't have like any more wear, and the new ones are copper as well. I didn't get some iridium ones because I want to change them out every 10,000 miles anyway. And right here I have some iridium ones for my Camaro, and I'm gonna show you how you can tell which one's the old one and new one. So the old ones don't have a tip like the new ones. The new ones have like a small tip, like a little needle. So whenever the iridium ones run out, and also platinums, the tip basically grinds away, it goes away. Okay guys, so right here I got my old spark plugs, and then right here I got my newest spark plugs, and I'm gonna go ahead and gap them all right now. But first I'm gonna go ahead and look at the owner's manual to go ahead and make sure I have the right gap. So we're gonna go ahead and open the book. These are super informational. I love them. Get one if you can for your car. We're gonna go ahead and open up the page. I have it saved, and we can go ahead and follow the year guys. 1971, 292 cubic inch motor. Then we can go ahead and follow. We need a 0.035 inch gap for our spark plugs. Now that we know our spark plug gap, we can go ahead and close the book and start gapping all our spark plugs. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start gapping all my spark plugs. It's the same way as the first spark plug I showed you. So you want to go ahead and first measure your spark plug to see what's the measurement at, and to see if you have to do any calibrating. So as you can see, it's a little bit almost at 0.38, but I want to go ahead and make sure it's at 0.035. So we're going to close the gap a little bit, and then check again. And then just make sure to see we have the 0.035 gap we're looking for on all the spark plugs.
Faster, a little faster. We can collide. We can collide.
Okay guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the spark plugs back since we gapped them all the same and into the 0.035 inches we need. So now we're gonna go ahead and start screwing them back in. Okay guys, now we can go ahead and get our ratchet with the extension. Make sure it's turning clockwise to tighten them, and we're gonna tighten them all just to a snug. These spark plugs don't need that much foot-pounds of torque for them, or else you can damage the threads. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. Okay guys, now that we have all the spark plugs tightened down, we can go ahead and start replacing the spark plug wires. I'm gonna go ahead and take off these guides off the spark plug wires. This just keeps them nice and tidy, but some of your cars might not have these. They just will be like running through like their own guides. Okay guys, so now we have the spark plug wires ready to take off. So I'm gonna go ahead and order. So after the first, I'm gonna go ahead and replace number 5. I'm gonna take off the spark plug wire from the terminal, and then I'm gonna go ahead and present it to the new one to see if I get the same lengths first. So as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and present it. Okay, I found the one that fits. Go ahead and grab the new one, and then switch out the numbers just to keep track of which spark plug wire is which. And by doing this guys, you can go ahead and make sure you get the right spark plug wire length for each of your spark plug wires. And then this is all I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to repeat this process until I have all 6 new spark wires ready for the truck.
I could not hold on any longer. I tried, but I was not strong enough. It wasn't easy trying to find the words to lie to you, so I run.
Okay guys, now that we have done putting all in these spark plug wires, you just want to make sure that they're all basically put in right in the spark plug and also the terminal, so you don't get a misfire or anything. So it's always good to double make sure. Okay guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and show you on my Camaro, because my Camaro has coils and some of your cars might have coils as well. So first thing is, you might have to remove some stuff from the engine bay. As you can see, I have to remove a breather hose. It's just going to be minor stuff. Don't worry about like moving anything too hard. And then as you can see, we have no spark plug wires. The cord is actually connected to a harness. All you have to do is disconnect the harness, but before you should probably disconnect the battery in your car to avoid causing a shortage. The next thing is, go ahead and get the socket that fits the bolt to take off the coil from the engine. Okay guys, now you can go ahead and remove the bolt and lift up the coil. Another thing guys is, in case you ever have like an engine misfire on a particular cylinder, you can just go ahead and switch out the coils to see like if it's the coil or the spark plug it needs replacing. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our socket and take off the spark plug, but since it's deep in there, it's a little bit hard to take out. So we're gonna go ahead and use this magnet. This magnet works magnificent at taking out spark plugs like in these type of heads on these cars. So as you can see, we can go ahead and get it like that and lift it up. Super easy and way more easier than using some pliers. Okay guys, so I have the spark plug taken out. As you can see, it's in the radium plug, and you can see that it still has a bunch of life on it because I just recently replaced them like half a year ago. And to put them back guys, all you have to do is put the spark plug in and then start turning it with the socket with the extension until it starts tightening by itself. Never use a ratchet because you might cross thread. And once it's tight guys, you just want to turn it one more time for it to be snug. Then take out your socket with your ratchet, and then after, you can go ahead and put your coil back on. Go ahead and put the bolt in to hold it down. And then after, you can go ahead and just connect the harness, and then tighten down the bolt that holds down the coil in place. And put anything back you had to move out of the way. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you with the Suburban, because this Suburban has something called a coil unplug, which is basically a small coil that's connected to a spark plug wire. So as you can see right here, I'm pointing to the coils, and the coils will sense the electricity. As you can see, they also have a harness connected to the top of a coil, and then it has a spark plug wire going down the coil into the spark plug. If you go ahead and follow the spark plug wires, you can see it leads you to the spark plug. All you have to do is take out the boot of the spark plug wire, and the spark plug will be underneath. And right now, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the boot so you can see where the spark plug is gonna be at. And also, guys, it's the same as the white shirt. You just go ahead and pull out the spark plug right from the top, and you can go ahead and pull out the spark plug from the bottom. And that's it only if you're gonna replace the spark plug wires. Another thing, guys, is that in case you ever have a misfire, you can do the same thing as my Camaro. You can go ahead and switch out the coils to see which one's the one that's bad, and also see what's like the source of the problem. Okay, guys, so basically I've gone ahead and showed you the 3 different main ways that your car might be set up with its spark plugs and spark plug wires, so you can go ahead and change them yourself. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what's the last steps, just to know if you did the right thing or not for your car. So let's go ahead and see what's next. Alright, guys, so now that you're done changing out your spark plugs, your wires or your coils or wherever, you can go ahead and start your engine now. That's the next step. The next step is go ahead and start your engine and make sure your car is running good, or make sure you don't hear anything funny. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, guys, well, that's it for this video. Hopefully now you know how to change your spark plugs or your spark plug wires for your car. And also, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Alright, guys, well, I'll see you the next time.
From your eyes, reflections of smoke and fire.